wasn't surprised in the outcome and how it went. Going into this fight, I'm not going to go in there and slug it out with a 255 heavyweight. That his bread and butter is being quick and throwing bombs. For me, going in here, I haven't been hit this whole tournament. I haven't been hit in the face in the Mo fight. I haven't been hit in the face in the Mitrione fight. And I'm in the finals of the Grand Prix. That was a dominant performance. Went out there, used that grappling, and mauled him.
Chael's the wrestler, Fedor's the legend. You can pick which one, guys. Is there anybody, or
if I'm picking for the whole mystique and nostalgia of it, I'm picking Fedor. To win the heavyweight Grand Prix, the title, be a 2-division champion, and do it beating Fedor, it doesn't get any bigger than that. That being said, they're so different. Chael, I think I know what I'm going to get with Chael. With Fedor, he has that mystique. You never know, what he's going to do in there. He throws bombs. He's great on the ground. So if I have my choice, so it would be Fedor.
Ryan, you're a very quiet man, very modest man. I suppose one of the other things as well is if you get Fedor, you won't get Sonnen chomping at you for the next 5 months. Do you want to avoid him chomping at you?
I don't care. I enjoy it. I can spit it back a little bit, not as well as he can, but I think it would be a fun build-up to that fight if it was Chael. I like both these guys, and I think they're both great fighters, and for any one of them to be in the finals, it's going to be, it's going to be fireworks. But for me, I think you ask anybody in this tournament, who would you want to fight in the finals? Stand across the cage, USA, Russia. It's Fedor.
What do you think gives you the harder fight, though, realistically? You have been hit this whole tournament, I'm sure maybe you want to be pushed a little in this thing.
Yeah, Chael, you get what you get, right? I've been fighting guys like Chael my whole career, and I do extremely well against wrestlers. I have most of my knockouts against other wrestlers. Like I said, with Fedor, you don't really know what you're going to get. You don't know what Fedor you're going to get. Is he going to come out, throw bombs, be aggressive? How's his cardio? We haven't seen his ground game in a long time. How's that? Can I take him down, and is he constantly going to be throwing up? Different submissions, all that kind of stuff. Well, we don't know. So I think Fedor is that unknown for sure, and we kind of know what we're going to get with Sonnen.
Ryan, we asked you this week where you thought you stood in the 205-pound division in the world. Where do you think you stand in the heavyweight division?
Man, if I go out there and win this heavyweight tournament, I got to be talked about in the pound for pound, regardless of promotion. If you look at my record and look for the guy, who I've fought, just killers in there. I'm 10 and actually now I'm 11-1 in my last 12 fights. Take a look at my record when you have a chance. Even a guy like Mitrione, I went out there, got 10-8 rounds, and he was the #1 heavyweight in Bellator.
Ryan, congrats on the win tonight. You said all along you wanted to go through the heavyweights to really feel like you earned the heavyweight title at the end. Did you feel at any point during this fight that you had a chance to finish? Because it was dominant. Were you worried about punching yourself out at all?
Well, with the punches, the ref was really on me about hitting the ear, and I wasn't trying to hit him in the back of the head or anything like that. So one thing I was surprised at when I finished Vassell with, he's a little skinny around the waist and whatnot. I have a wrist ride and I start dropping bombs. With Matt, it was harder to keep him down there, and so all he had to do was kind of turn his head, and the ref was on me about hitting the back of the head, even when I was getting close to that ear. So I had to be careful there. I felt like I could have potentially finished the fight there a few times. I had a Kimura, which I didn't see his hand raised, about to tap, but his length was just kind of off on that Kimura, and I kind of trying to step over his head, but it kind of lost it.
You talked about the two of you are friends heading into this. It's just business. When you were in there, though, what was that like? Was it any harder than any other fight?
No, not really. He brought his own, different style to the fight. He was longer than I thought he would be. As far as when he stretches out his hands, he's really long, and he can move well. And when he had a burst at me, he was throwing for broke right there. Everything he had into his big frame and trying to knock me out right there. But I do that. I do this every day against guys that that are my best friends, and we train together. We go hard against each other. I've fought friends before. It's a competition for me. I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm trying to go in there and get my hand raised.
Ryan, the fans were booing a little bit in the third round, especially. Did that bother you at all?
No, not at all. That was a mauling. It was 10-8 rounds. Like I said, against the best heavyweight in the division. And and go back to like I haven't been hit in this tournament. I haven't been punched in the face in 2 fights against some of the best people in the world. They're both top 10. You know, Matt Mitrione is the top 5 heavyweight in the world. Doesn't matter what promotion, if not higher. You know, he goes out there and beats guys like, I mean, Derek Lewis is fighting for the UFC heavyweight championship of the world. You know, I think Matt Mitrione goes in there and smokes him. You know, so I don't care about the lose at all.
Well, you have done so well. You have been hit, like you said. If you go through this tournament and win, do you think that heavyweight could be your new home?
Potentially. You know, there's guys out there that have won both belts. You know, I don't think there's guys out there that went out, won 2 belts, and then defended 2 belts. You know, so on my mind right now is going out there. And number one, you know, people were asking me before this fight, oh, the 2-division champion, like I could give a shit about it because I was concentrated on this fight. You know, now it could be a reality, and you know, I win one more fight and I'm there. You know, so for me, it's right now in my mind, in my mindset, going into this fight, win this fight, defend light heavyweight, defend heavyweight.
It's unlikely to happen, but would you, in your heart of hearts, if you won the heavyweight tournament, love for MMA to come together and you to face, say, Daniel Cormier, who has both of those belts as well? Do you think about that?
Oh, I do think about that, you know, and we all kind of, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, you know, and a big reason for me to come over was I believed I was best in the world, and I never got the opportunity to show it. You know, over here I did, you know, and so, yeah, it's always there. I'm a competitor. I want to be the best in the world. I don't want to have like, oh yeah, but there's another organization and there's guy, you know, taking nothing away from him. He's a dominant champion. He's one of the best to ever do it. You know, of course I want it. You know, but will that ever happen? No.
It's a shame you can't get an undisputed champion
I know, right?
that way, though, isn't
I know.
it?
I think maybe later on down the road, but you know, business is business, and I get that.
And you'll fight him someday. Yeah.
What's that?
You'll fight him someday somewhere,
Oh, maybe.
even if you both got on your own promotion or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
50 years old.
Right. Years back, you lost Glover to Sherry.
Yeah.
Ever since then, you've been on a tear. You're beating guys, arguably better. Phil Davis, Matt Mitrione. What changed? What made you go from a guy who would bounce from win to loss to now?
Yeah. So.
you're in that zone?
So like I was saying, you know, I'm 11-1 my last 12 fights. You know, I had a hiccup in there with Anthony Johnson. I was going in there like, I'm gonna, you know, take him down, and I just didn't set anything up. I took a shot, and then I was thinking about that fight ever since, you know. And the next fight, I promised myself, I was like, you're the best. Come on, like you don't have to second guess yourself or anything or try something dumb. You know, so for me, I think that fight changed everything. Where I was like, all right, I'm going in there, and I'm going to be smart about it. I'm going to be carefree. I'm not going to make a big deal about it during fight week. I'm just going to go in there and perform. So after that fight, I just, you know, I went out there and knocked out the number 3 ranked UFC guy, Latifi. You know, then Nogueira. You know, they came over here, won the belt, fought a tough Lynn Vassell. You know, knocked out King Mo. You know, then here I just beat one of the best heavyweights in the world, you know, and so it's just my mindset. My mindset's changed. When I was fighting guys like Glover, I was second guessing myself. Am I the best in the world? Do I deserve to be up here? You know, now I know I am.
You're 35 now. You're
Yep.
on the street. Is it possible this is your absolute prime at the moment?
Yeah.
How long do you see yourself continuing to do this?
I feel the best I've ever felt, mentally, physically. You know, my body's. You know, the last couple of training camps, I've been showing up and I'm like, you know, knock on wood, I was like, how am I not? I don't have one ding, nothing, a sore toe, a shin, nothing. You know, and so for me, I'm just going to keep rolling until I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just having so much fun. My training's going amazing. I feel like I'm getting better and better every fight. So.
If you win this tournament in the fashion that you know you need jail or anything, or like if you were on this roster test where you just pretend defending these titles and just doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that are the best in the world who can test me for sure. You know, Phil and I always have close fights. They're boring as hell, but you know he's always a tough dude to fight. You know, and I think he's one of the best guys in the world in 205-pound division. You know, I don't want to fight him anymore because, like I said, our fights are terrible. But you know, in the heavyweight division, you know, you got big guys in there throw bombs. You know, but I think everybody has their own their weakness that I can exploit.
And I mean, a lot of people talk about maybe Misasi coming up to 205. He said that. Is that
Yep.
a fight that would interest you? Give him the opportunity to be a 2 division champion?
Oh hell yeah! You know, those kind of fights. That's where I came over to Bellator. You know, when I was a light heavyweight and I won that belt, they asked me to come up and do the heavyweight tournament. You know, I didn't even know one name that was in this tournament. We said yes, let's do it. You know, and so here we are in the finals.
Feeling good right now, Ryan. How much of that is the lack of a weight cut going into these fights?
Not too much. I feel good when I fight at 205. Also, it just takes one less stress off fight week.
Will you be in attendance tomorrow night for the Fedor?
Yeah, I'm gonna head over there tomorrow morning. I'm glad I fought first. I get to sit back and watch him, you know, go at it and be carefree and have some fun.
You look heavier. You look not heavier. You're obviously heavier. You look happier at heavyweight than you were at light heavy.
Yeah, well, you know, going into
A lot.
going into a fight week, you know, you're just like, all right, I got to pull 15, 20 pounds of water out of my body, and that's a fight in and of itself. You do that, and then you're like, okay, now I have to fight another man in a cage tomorrow, and I have to get rehydrated and feel good to do that, you know. And so, one less thing I have to do.
Ryan, since you came up, for us fantasy bookers, how do you think you do against Cormier? How do you think you guys match up?
I think it match up well with them, you know, especially now. If I would have matched up with them 5 years ago, you know, I don't think I'd do all that well. I feel like now I beat them, you know. It's just one of those things where it's too bad it'll never happen.
I feel like you should have had that fight a few years
Oh
ago,
yeah,
right? It was,
man, I was promised that title shot, and then they gave it to a guy that got knocked out, and is literally fighting me in his last fight, and they give it to him, you know. So that was kind of the one time when I'm like, you know what, screw just fighting to try to get a championship. I was like, I'm just gonna go out there and have fun.
Give us the official prediction for tomorrow, not who you want to fight, who just how you see it going down.
I just don't know. I usually pick a winner. If Chael gets a takedown, that first takedown, I think he wins this whole fight. Just one takedown, because that's going to give him the confidence. He'll go on there and get a one around or whatnot. If Fedor, if he stuffs 2 takedowns, I think Fedor wins that fight. It's literally 50-50 for me.
If you were to win, when you were leaving the UFC, you were talking a lot of trash. You take a completely different route. You're complimenting your opponents. What's the big change?
You know, there's a time there when it's like, what do I got to do to get a title fight? You know, and it was one of those things where just trying everything in the book, you know, and you know, me and Cormier were jawing at each other a little bit, and you know, trying to set up that fight. You know, I think he wanted it too, but then it just never happened, and that's what I was kind of going back to what I was telling him. It just was like, all right, I'm just gonna go out there and have fun. I'm not gonna worry about that title fight on the horizon.
So it wasn't personal. Like when you stormed the press conference that time, it
Nah.
wasn't personal. You were just trying to get a fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a fight.
All right, follow-up question. You say you feel great at heavyweight, you look great at heavyweight. You ever look back and say, man, I should have been fighting heavyweight all along?
No, I don't cut all that much weight. You know, I'm 230 weighing in, and it's not difficult for me. You know, and so I feel like the guys, you know, there's trade-offs. The guys at 205 are in better shape and faster. The guys at heavyweight takes one punch. You know, they're not as fast, but they throw hard.
So one thing you kept saying is, you kept saying, hey, he's going to weigh 10 pounds, 15 pounds. He weighed 30 pounds.
Yeah,
so it's a
yeah.
lot different than you expected.
Well, I thought he was going to come in low 240s.
So two-part question. The first part, did you feel the difference in the match? And the second part is it an advantage to be that light? Like, for example, you go against Fedor or Chael, they're going to be a lot lighter. Do you think it's going to be harder because now they can kind of match your speed? Or
No, I'm used to fighting that speed. You know, Matt is at speed on the feet. You know, and so that's why people were like, oh, he's fast. He's this. He's as fast as a 205er. I've been fighting my whole life. Oh, he's big. Yeah, but 205ers are big, but he was big in there. You know. But at the same time, it's a different big. He's big. I can't get my arms around him, this and that. But I can break him down easier than a agile 205er that's able to get to his base and pop up. You know, so.
was it
Last question, guys.
Do you think it was easier, being that he was slower and heavier?
I think I had more opportunities to break him down and be able to keep him on his back than a 205er. Yeah.
Ryan, given the opportunity, if you were to win the entire tournament, would you give Mitrione, knowing he's your friend, a rematch to prove himself against you down the line?
I think that fight kind of settled it. You know, I don't think how it goes any different. You know, I don't want to fight my friends. You know, we had the fight because we were in a tournament. You know, it's one of those things where I know he's going to be back up, and who knows where I'm going to be, and so he'll get his shot again.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Ryan. Thanks, Chad.